Everybody knows eating fresh fruits and vegetables, it's an important part of a healthy diet. But what's also important is to support your local farmers and buy local.
This also helps to reduce your carbon footprint
Yes.
at the same time, and you're a little greener and more eco-friendly in the process. So it's all for a good reason. So we are going to use local vegetables.
Local vegetables.
And make a chopped salad today.
And the other thing that this is going to do is going to create compost. We picked something out today that's going to create a solid amount of compost because that can help your gardens going forward and help reduce your waste. So we're going to start by Ashley, you chopping up some veggies. Some fruits and veggies over here for your salad because we're making a chopped salad. And if you don't know, a chopped salad is pretty much just that. It's chopping things up into little bite-sized portions, which makes it a whole lot easier.
So this is what you do. You go to your local farmer's market, which is very exciting that farmers markets are popping up all over Western Mass. And you go to your farmer's market and just buy a whole bunch of veggies and chop them up. It's that easy.
Here's the
Support
part
your local farmers.
that's a little bit harder because everybody can chop. We know this. Ashley Cole, hopefully, can you chop? Are you up to this challenge?
Of course I can chop.
We're gonna make a creamy garlic vinaigrette. So this recipe serves 2 to 4 people. We're gonna have it on the screen. It's also gonna be at mymassappeal.com. But so, first of all, we grab a little bit of olive oil, about a cup, and this is all gonna go in a blender. A little bit of red wine vinegar.
Nothing like making your own dressing.
Now, Ashley, when you get around to it, do you see that garlic clove in front of you?
I can do that. Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
want me
need
to do that first?
2 to 3 cloves. We both like garlic, so we're gonna go with maybe 3 cloves.
All right, I want everyone to look at what I'm doing right now.
Yes.
No
She's
magic.
composting.
No magic tricks here. Instead of taking all of your peels and everything, all your scraps, you're going to throw them into a bowl because we're going to use this for compost.
And if you'd like, I know the Center for Ecotechnology, they have these. The bins over here, you can actually put your kitchen trash directly into these. So you can if you want, Ashley, right there. Throw it in there if you'd like. Because that's where the finished product was going to go.
No, we're going to use that bowl.
Oh, now we are. Okay, good.
Yeah. No, I'm doing it here.
And the lettuce, I don't know if anyone's ever seen this trick. You take a head of iceberg lettuce, you smash it, and then, have you ever seen that?
No, I want to see it right now.
I already did it.
Oh.
The inside part comes out very easily.
Oh,
so all you have to
okay.
do
Good job.
is smash it.
Good.
Thank you. Okay, so you're going to do the garlic. Now you also, in this dressing, add a little bit of Dijon mustard. Do you know why we add Dijon mustard,
Because
Ashley?
it's an emulsifier.
There we go. It's one of my favorite words.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of sugar. And then 1 egg yolk. Now, ideally, we go organic egg yolk, but, you know, people don't have that kind of cash. This saves a little bit of money. So here we go.
All right. I'm struggling with the garlic, Seth.
Are you really?
I'm going to...
Oh.
Oh, there we go. Crushed it.
You know, I'm just going to put the whole egg in there.
Okay, so we've got our pepper. We're going to have to cut our onion.
Okay, so you just chop everything up. I'm going to make the dressing.
And obviously, this is a great spring meal because you're able to use all of the fresh local veggies that are in season.
Now let's bring Marin in here. Hey, Marin. He's from the Center for Ecotechnology. He's going to be with us all show long. Now, Marin, we've talked about it a little bit, but specifically, why is it important that we compost?
Well, one of the things you said earlier about recycling too, just like composting, we don't have to throw that into the trash. We can just take care of it in our own home and then use it to create black soil that we can use to amend our potting soils at home or just for our gardens, all those great things.
Nice.
So it's something that is easy to do.
Very easy to do.
Doesn't take any extra time.
How does this bin that we have work?
So we have a bin here so that you can just have it right there in your kitchen and you can just be able to put all those veggies right in there. I threw a piece of newspaper in there too so that then you can just sort of, it keeps it so it doesn't get all the gunky stuff into the actual bin.
Right.
Because it can get gunky otherwise. But otherwise you just sort of put it in there and then you take it outside if you've got an outside composter. Or as we're going to talk a little bit later, you can also do inside composting in your kitchen and in your own house. So, but this sort of gives you a place to collect it while you're doing all this great project. Like if you didn't have that bowl, you didn't want to put stuff into that bowl, you could just putting it straight into the little composter.
Oh, okay.
And again, one of the things you talked about, so I have a household family of 3. I use 1 trash bag a week because of recycling and composting takes the majority of all our waste. We end up with 1 trash bag a week.
Marion, that's
pretty
amazing.
impressive.
And everybody can do that. It's very simple. It's just about paying attention and putting things in a recycling bin instead of the trash bin, and putting things into a compost bin instead of into the trash can.
What about eggshells,
We're going
Marin?
to keep
Eggshells too, all
working
that
on
can be
this
composted.
kitchen
It's
scraps,
great.
okay?
Yes.
We're going to keep working on it, and then we will be back
With
later
you
on
in
the
a little
show
bit.
to show you more about composting.
But here's something.
All right, worms, they aren't just gross. but they can actually help your garden grow.
They're not gross, they're adorable. It's all the
Gross.
way you look at them.
They're gross.
But they can be used for waste reduction, fertilizer production, and more.
And here to tell us about it is Julia. She's from the Center for Ecotechnology, and she's here to tell us about composting, but a specific kind.
Yes, we're going to talk about vermicomposting.
Vermicomposting.
Yes.
So this involves worms.
Worms.
How do they play a role in the composting process?
Basically, the worms help break down the nutrients that would normally break down outside in a compost pile, or if you have a bin outside, but this can be done inside.
And it speeds it up maybe a little bit because you're using the worms?
Yeah, it does. And it's also, a lot of people that live in apartments think that they can't compost because they don't have a backyard to put their compost pile. But this can be kept inside. Even if you do have a backyard, you can keep it in your basement, but you know, you can keep it in your kitchen too.
Okay, you keep worms in your kitchen?
Yes.
You keep worms in your kitchen?
Yeah, yeah. Don't
Does it-
worry, they stay in the bins.
Does,
They
it,
don't.
does it smell?
It can smell if you don't take care of it, but if you make sure that you mix the ingredients that go into your compost well, you'll be fine.
See?
Now,
I
is it a
think-
specific kind of worm?
It is. They're called red wigglers. There are a couple other varieties that you can use, but really the red wigglers are best at breaking down the nutrients you put in.
How do you come across these worms? You need to wait for it to rain and then you scoop them up?
Well, you can get them at bait shops, but they tend to be a little more expensive there. You can find them online
Okay.
at any
So the
online
red
worm
wiggler,
dealer.
though, is the one that we're looking
Yeah,
for.
red wigglers are what you should
How
look for.
many worms do you need for your composter?
They usually sell them by the pound, and so if you get a pound of worms, they're able to eat about half of their body weight a day in the scraps that you put into your composter. And the number of worms will pretty much double after 3 months. So
Oh, good.
you can put in.
The worms double.
Yeah,
So they
yeah,
make
they'll
worm
reproduce.
babies.
Yep.
Well, that's nice.
Now,
Yeah.
what happens if your
it's like you're
dog
making
decides
money.
to get into your composter?
Well,
It's got a belly's worth of worms.
you have to be careful because when you start, you need to make sure that you've got a good mix of some soil in there already, and then as you add in, you know, your vegetables and other things like newspaper and paper towel scraps, it turns into dirt. So your dog's not necessarily going to want to eat that.
Perfect. And then
Right,
you can use
good.
that dirt in your garden and so
Exactly.
forth going
Yep.
on. So this one that we have here, we have a couple. This goes together.
Yes.
And this is kind of the creme de la creme version,
Yep.
right?
These you can buy. They tend to be more expensive. It's a good system. It's perfectly good. It has a filter down at the bottom to help if there's any excess moisture. But really, you just put your stuff in there. And
So what goes on the top level?
it pretty much every level would be the same. You just want to make sure that you keep a good mix of the kitchen scraps with the browns, we call them, so the paper towels, the toilet paper rolls, the newspaper, even your scrap, you know, like junk mail you can put in there as long as it's ripped up into smaller pieces. Yep.
So, I mean, we joke about worms in your kitchen, but really, seriously, this is a really great way
Yeah.
to be earth-friendly,
Absolutely.
eco-friendly,
Yep.
and obviously to make sure that you're cutting down on the trash that you're throwing out every day.
And so I don't know if people at home can see it, but these are, it's slotted. There's holes in these.
Yep.
So that means as the dirt becomes more and more fine and good, it gets filtered down to the bottom level.
Yep.
So can we put the scraps that we did for our chopped salad right in here?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
And the thing, you just want to make sure, especially when you start out, that you're not overloading the worms, because if you don't give the worms a chance to break the stuff down, it's going to rot, just like it would in your garbage can.
Right.
So
They
you
can
just-
only eat so much.
Exactly. So you have to be careful, especially when you're starting out, that you make sure that you have sort of that base layer with the paper towels and.
So are you convinced now?
I am. And
All right.
in here, is this just a whole tub of worms?
Yeah, well, no, it's basically one of these systems, but you know, you can buy a Rubbermaid bin at the hardware store.
So you can do
just
it a
make
little
sure
bit
that you
easier.
punch some holes in the top. You don't have to spend as much money, and it works just as well.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Julia.
Yeah, thank you.
A window turned into a picture frame, a sewing machine turned into a sink. The sky is the limit when it comes to upcycling.
So we're with Tom and Emily for the Center for Ecotechnology, Eco Building Bargains. We're talking upcycling, and it's pretty much just that. It's taking old things and making them new again instead of throwing them away.
Yeah, I mean, everywhere you look, especially if a house is getting demoed and all that stuff goes into the dumpster, you know, it's all good stuff that you can use, and you know, they resell it, and you can go to the store and buy it, or you know, you can find it anywhere. But you know, why throw it out when you can make it into something you can use again?
Or when someone else can use it. It's funny, my grandmother gave me a great tip the other day. I haven't shared it with anybody yet, because they're building a house near me, and she said, ask them for the offcuts, the cuts of wood that they don't use, because they're just going to throw them away, but you can make so many great things with them.
Sure.
Yeah, actually, last year alone, our store was able to divert 430 tons of waste through used and surplus building materials, and that's in 1 year alone. So if everybody started taking those initiatives, I mean, we're one store in Springfield. Imagine if that movement took hold and everybody was saving that much from the landfill. But you get such cool stuff, so it's like
the
a
other thing,
bonus.
too.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what's behind you at first, because this is just awesome. I know this is right up Ashley's alley.
I want one. But you know what's interesting is I saw the back of it. It's not pretty.
No.
It's not a pretty door. So if you see it, you may not think, oh, it's not a very nice door. But look at what you can create. This is awesome.
So Tom, how'd you make this?
Well, this, we found the door in the store, and it, like she said, that the back is hideous, and it's warped. So probably would end up going in the dumpster even after the store because nobody could buy it. They couldn't put it in place.
And then that goes into a landfill, which takes decades or hundreds of years to break down.
Yeah, so for this, I mean, this is even something that anybody can do. You can buy the chalkboard paint at a Home Depot or any place like that, and you sand it, paint it up, and you can do it yourself, and it's a nice way to reuse.
And you can use it for so many things. Like I thought Mom's Menu would be a really cute thing to put on here, and you can put the meals for the week or the grocery list, stuff like that.
I
just
want to
sold it.
follow you on. Do you have a blog with these ideas? I love that. That's awesome, Emily.
Now,
what a good idea.
There's something else. This is a little bit more advanced. I don't know if anybody at home can do that, but it's just an awesome conversation piece. Tom, what did you make here?
So that is an old-fashioned sewing machine. That's the actual sewing machine that was in it when we got it, and all at the store they had the valves, they had the handles, they had the sink, they had everything but the piece of steel. So we were able to get everything there, and we turned it into a sink. And if you turn the cold water handle,
Really?
it actually, yeah, it works. Actually, the other one here
this
for right
one?
now. But once it's hooked up in your home, it'll run like a regular sink, have a little bit more pressure.
Cool is that?
Look at this. We got some water running.
And it's
Oh my
just two
gosh.
things that people would have tossed, but put them together, and it's something special. And Ashley can wash your hands in it.
Ah, look
Now,
at that.
lastly, we have a quick one that people can do, because if you're doing a building renovation or something, oftentimes old windows and doors get tossed. So we've seen how we can repurpose one of them. But what are we going to do here?
We are going to make this into a little bit of a picture frame, and what's great about upcycling is I know I've lived in apartments and things like that where I couldn't change the carpet and it might be a hideous color, and this is a way to bring those colors into your home and make it look intentional. There's a little template on the back here. You can
Okay.
just snip that right out, and then what are we going to do with the paper?
Tape it on here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Excess paper,
the excess
we'll put it
paper.
in our composter
Yes.
and recycle, or
Right.
just recycle
Or
it, right?
recycle it, right? So you can do uncoated paper in your composter, and then you can recycle all the excess paper as well. It is Earth Day, so we've got to recycle.
That's true. We always do have to. And every day should be Earth Day.
Every day is Earth Day.
So we take this and we tape it, and it looks like
And
this.
Seth's going to continue his arts and crafts project.
Yes.
I love this idea. Thank you, Emily and Tom.
Thank you.
It's great to hear. I can't wait to be
Yeah.
inspired.
But
Paper, plastic, cardboard, or is it trash?
what goes where? Today we're going to show you, because we're doing the recycling challenge with Marin. He's back from the Center for Eco-Technology.
Yep.
It's done differently in different parts of Western Massachusetts. There's single stream, there's dual stream. What are they?
Right, so single stream, like Springfield, is where you just have one container, everything just goes in one. In most other places, though, most places currently using dual stream, so you actually have to separate your paper and plastics. And so that's what we're going to do in this challenge. And so we've got about 35 items for each of you guys to go through. And you're going to figure out, is it trash? Is it recycling? Is it paper? Is it plastic? And so you're going to sort those things, and then afterwards we'll come back and see what how you guys did.
Paper, plastic,
we go.
and trash.
Yep.
Paper, plastic, trash. Okay, so speed's not a factor, right? In this challenge,
It's not a factor, but
bonus style points for who's ever first, okay?
Okay,
Of course.
I'm nervous.
of course.
Do you want to count
Okay.
us down, Marin?
Okay.
I thought, okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
So this goes there, this goes there.
Oh, paper. What if it doesn't fit in my bin?
We'll figure it out.
That's how you do it.
Seems to me that I'm going much faster
I
than
thought
her.
speed was not a factor. I
No,
was
but
taking my
bonus,
time.
you get bonus points for speed.
Well, I want to do
Oh,
it right,
wait a
Seth.
minute.
I want to do it right.
I think there's a booby trap here. I'm gonna do this.
oh,
we go.
Jeez.
This
Okay.
goes here.
Paper,
This
paper
goes
and cardboard, or plastic. All right. Now, Maren, should you crush like your milk cartons and stuff? Do you have to crush those or no?
That's only for your own ease and the amount of size that you actually have in
I
your
see.
kitchen, but otherwise it gets all crushed later on. So
Now, what if you have cans and you elect to take them to the depository to get the 5 cents back?
Yep.
from? Is that pretty much just as good?
that is the exact same thing. It's just whether or not you want to deal with that or if you want to just do it in your own home.
So if people are looking to save a couple dollars, 5 cents a can might not be a bad idea.
Exactly, definitely. And like you said before, this is actually the amount of that gets recycled when you recycle this instead of having to make a whole new can is tremendous. So recycling, aluminum cans is like the #1 thing. If you do anything, recycle your aluminum cans.
That's good to know because I think a lot of people are hesitant to recycle. So if you can do one thing, it's the aluminum cans.
Why am I so confused?
I don't know,
Paper,
to be honest.
plastic, and trash, right? Paper and plastic you separate?
Yes. No. All right.
Okay, let's bring it on.
Paper, plastic, and trash.
Yes.
Plastic, okay.
Okay.
Where do my cans go?
So that's part of
I think we all
plastic
know.
and cans all go together.
Do you want to make any last minute
The
changes?
easier way to say it is called containers.
Like
Your
a
containers-
vessel.
Yeah.
Oh, now you tell me containers, so this goes in the
We've
trash.
had that the whole time.
I don't want to
Okay.
talk about it.
Okay.
All right, I'm a trash picker now. Okay.
Okay, so let's do a quick thing here. We'll sort of put this down here just so people can see. So one thing that Seth did very well here is that for paper that has food contaminants on it, you cannot recycle this.
No way.
But what can you do with it that we were talking about earlier today?
Compost.
Compost.
Compost, exactly. So
I said
this
it
could have
first.
been in composting instead of trash.
I just want it
So-
noted that hers was in the recycling area.
Yep.
Because mine didn't have any food waste on it.
Well,
But no,
grease.
you can-
it's-
Grease?
Grease too. Nope, grease is food waste. So here's another thing. So this is something that Seth put in the trash.
I didn't
And
have any
You
poison.
didn't have one.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to that. We'll get to all the different pieces. So this is something that is a little bit of a curveball. You don't want to throw away hazardous waste. This is what this is considered. So if you have leftover poison or just different
Oil.
or different containers that have that sort of like something if you like use weed spray or things like that.
Yeah.
So that actually has to be put into a hazardous waste collection. Most towns have them on sort of an annual basis. So you don't want to throw this in the trash. You actually want to do this into a hazardous waste collection.
Okay.
So that's that. Okay, so let's see a couple of these other things. Obviously, these are good ones. So this definitely can be recycled.
Now, what if that has food waste on it? Do the same rules apply?
No, this doesn't apply because this is going to get cleaned. I mean, you want to have these things somewhat clean. Most of the cleaning issues with food waste off of your bottles and cans and stuff like that is more for your own smell factor in your home. It gets cleaned when they're dealing with the whole processing of it. That's when most of the food waste gets taken out. and
I
stuff like
getcha.
that.
All
But
right.
so that can be recycled. These are all good recyclables. This now, unfortunately, plastic utensils, trash.
No way.
There's nothing you can do with them. They have to be
I put them
trash.
in my plastic too.
Okay, this is another one of things. So this, unfortunately, in your home recycling can't be recycled because this actually gunks up the machines that are processing through separating everything. So this can be recycled by taking to your local supermarket. A lot of those different Safeways, Big Y's, all those things have recycle bins out front for plastic bags. So that's so. Unfortunately, you cannot recycle this through your home recycling, though.
No.
I repurpose mine by cleaning up my dog's business with them.
Exactly. You
Makes
can
it a
do.
little bit easier.
Yep. You can use them for trash bags too. Instead of buying special trash bags, you can put them in your
great
in your
car
trash can. Exactly. Car trash bags. This again, unfortunately, this is not recyclables.
Well, Maren, we're out of
So-
time. I've learned a lot. I'm sure
Yes.
our viewers have too. I
Happy
want to have
Earth
you
Day.
back to go through this more. I feel like I could really use a little bit more tips.
I think we both could.
recycling.
I think
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's a
Last
pleasure
one
having
too.
you here, Maren. Thank you. Yep.
Black plastic. Don't recycle it, unfortunately.
Huh.
But
I need
thanks-
this list. Thank you.
Good having
Thank you so
Happy
much.
Earth
Tomorrow on
Day.
Mass Appeal.